Good morning, students. Now, the next topic we are having the acceleration time graph. In this graph, we only talk about the uniform acceleration part. And one thing, as I told you, that if you are having displacement, velocity, and acceleration graph, from displacement slope, you will find out velocity. From velocity graph slope, you will find out acceleration. And on the other hand, from the acceleration time graph, area under the curve, you will find velocity, and velocity area under the graph you will find out the displacement or distance. That is very important, beta. This is just the gist of this part. If you remember these things, you will never do your questions wrong in an exams, that's for sure. Okay, now for the acceleration time graph, so area under curve will give me what? Velocity. Now the first one which they have given, that when the body is stationary or if it's moving with uniform velocity. If the body is moving with uniform velocity, it means its initial velocity and final velocity is same. And if these are same, that means the acceleration is what? 0. Acceleration is 0. So as the time is increasing, acceleration will remain 0. So it's come on the line of the time axis. The second we are having, if velocity is increasing uniformly with time, then the acceleration is constant. That's also we know. If velocity is moving uniformly, okay, uniformly increasing, it's increasing now. Like for 1 second, it's having 2 meter, then for second 4 meter, then for third second 6 meter. So it's increasing uniformly. That A will remain same in all the cases. The acceleration will remain same in all the cases. So that's why we are having this line, that constant acceleration is there. And in the similar case, if the decrease is uniformly, then we are having what? Retardation. So this is all about the acceleration time graph. Now the next what we are having, down to how the different slopes can help me to find out that this acceleration due to gravity. Very simple, beta. With this, please open your books also. I am also opening it. See, first thing, acceleration is given to me. They have given me acceleration time graph. I know the area under the graph will give me what? Velocity. Okay, the area under the graph will give me what? Velocity. So what they have done, that for all this instant, for 1 second we find out the area of this part, then for second we find out the area, then for third, then for fourth, then for fifth, so that we can have this velocities of for every second. Now you are having time also, you are having velocities also, so you can plot a graph. So when we plot a graph, we will get this kind of graph. Now from this graph, the area under the curve will give me what? Displacement. Area under the curve give me what? Displacement. So for this every instant, area of this triangle, then area of this triangle, then area of this triangle, similarly this. So now again what I am having, these are what the areas for this time period. So what kind of graph we are having? The graph, the ST graph we are having is like this. Now very important paragraph is written here. Now a graph plotted by taking displacement and the square of time. Now we are plotting a graph between t square and s. Okay, when you are plotting the graph between t square and x, we find out that the slope coming out to be 5 meter per second square, because obviously this is ST graph. So this value what you are getting, the slope is half the acceleration due to gravity. Thus the value of acceleration due to gravity can be obtained by doubling the slope of ST square graph for a freely falling body. So when you are having a freely falling body, this ST graph can also help you, but yes, you have to double that acceleration due to gravity. A simple concept in this, area from the acceleration will give you VT graph, and the area from the VT graph will give you what? Displacement. Now I am also answering Divyanshi your question here. You talk about slope now, that why we are taking x1 minus x2 or y2 minus y1, but we can take it in any way. That suppose slope can be x1, that is y1 minus y2 upon x1 minus x1 also, and y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 also. That depends, because why we are not taking this case, because maximum when we are taking the values, we are taking the increasing part. If you take it in this way also, then also it's fine. What happened, one negative sign come in the upward part and one negative sign in common you will get in the second part. That negative will get cancelled. For example, I am having 2 minus 3, for second 1 minus 2. Just imagine. So what you are getting here, minus 1 upon minus 1. So the slope you are getting is 1. So we can use it in any way, but yes, in slope we will take y ordinates upon x coordinates. Okay, thank you so much students. This is all about your B part. Now we will continue with the derivations part, and for the next part please be ready with your notebooks and pens, and you have going to do the derivations with me. Okay, take care, bye.